This is Tyler Busch. Welcome to the Shaun Newman podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Maz Entertainment. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Maz Entertainment, they do live production for large bands, DJ. They have DJs, rentals, and sales. They also do business, corporate AV, and installs as well. Now, let's just get to the point. Maz is the man. If I have an issue with anything, when it comes back to this podcast, I switched over to an Apple computer. This was probably a month or two ago, and having serious issues. The guy I call is Cody Mazerel. If you're looking for a DJ for a wedding, the man you should be calling is Cody Mazerel. If you have a high school dance going on, the man you should call is Cody Mazerel. He is the bomb. He's the best. To get a hold of him, his number is 780-201-42920 or cody@mazentertainment.ca. I promise you will not be disappointed. Just one other quick story. We're in the middle of Hockey Day in Saskatchewan coming up here very, very shortly. And call Cody, say, hey, I'm looking for like a spotlight kind of shine on a door so when guys skate it by, boom. 20 minutes later, it's sitting on my doorstep with instructions on how to do it. That's the guy Cody is. I promise you won't be disappointed. Now, into Hockey Day in Saskatchewan. It is this weekend coming up. Thursday night. Here's a bomb for you all. Thursday night is Wade and Friends. Now, that is Wade Redden and Friends. And we just found out Marty McSorley will be playing in this game as well. So now you got Wade Redden, Marty McSorley, Border Kings from 01 and 07, Hillmon Hitmen from 2015 after they ended the Hillmon drought of 37 years, all playing Thursday night. It's going to be a fun night. Friday night, the banquet is sold out right now, so unless you can sweet talk somebody who might have some tickets, it is sold out. You can get into the dance, the cabaret after, $8:30, $30 to get in. That gets you to see Jordan Pollard and the Dirt Rich Band. And also, I got to give a shout out to the Fred North Foundation because I found out earlier this week that any money raised that night, they will match up to $25,000, and that's huge. And if I haven't said it before, all the money coming from this Hockey Day in Saskatchewan is going to getting new boards in the Hillmon rink, and obviously new boards are not exactly cheap, so that's super cool of the Fred North Foundation. On Saturday, you can get tickets still for the Midget AAA men's and women's games. They go at 1 and 4:30, and then at 7 o'clock that night, or 7:30 that night, it is the North Battleford North Stars, who are the top of the SJHL and defending champs, taking on the Notre Dame Hounds. And that is all happening at the Hillmon rink. $25 gets you the entire day. 12 and under are free. You can pick up tickets at Factory Sports, Tops, or Fountain Tire. So lots going on. Obviously Sunday, finally to kind of cap off Hockey Day in Saskatchewan, is all Hillmon minor hockey, followed by a Hillmon Hitmen versus Lashburn Flyers senior Sask-Elta game. So tons of cool stuff going on here over the next few days, folks. So if you are in and around town, get out there and help support the Hillmon community. I know I'll say it. I'd greatly appreciate it. Now, last week, I had Paul Bizanet on the podcast, and, if anyone listens to Spittin' Chicklets, the feedback I got was, it still hasn't stopped coming through. I like this one, earmuffs for all the kids out there, but Colby McDonald said, holy fuck, Shaun, that was great. I got to admit, I had chills for 70% of that listen. Never expected it to be so deep, and then he laughed. That was, once again, Biz Nasty from last week. I had also Jordan Chong, my old roommate from Dryden Days, said unreal job with Biz, such a fun episode. Kurt Tenney, once again, earmuffs. Holy fuck, man, you set the bar pretty high having Biz on. That was an awesome interview. And then finally, a buddy of mine, Josh Spiegel, out in Wisconsin, said, hey, big fella, keep up the good work. I have a blast listening to your show. Awesome guests with awesome content. Stories are classic. Love it, bud. Keep it up. Thanks, guys, for reaching out. And glad you enjoyed last week's episode with Paul Bisonet. If you haven't listened to it, I highly suggest you go back and dabble in it. It was a lot of fun, and I really appreciate him hopping on the show with me. Now, for this week, here is your Factory Sports Tale of the Tape. Today's guest is Tyler Busch, the Arizona State University Sun Devils captain. He's born and raised in Lloydminster, Alberta. He played his minor hockey in town before heading west, where he would suit up for the Spruce Grove Saints of the AJHL. Once there, he would help them win back-to-back championships and wear the C. In that time, he won a World Junior A Gold in 2015. Now, currently, he's in his fourth year with the Arizona State Sun Devils, and once again wearing the C for them as well. So this was a cool little interview I did while down in Arizona on holidays. Appreciate Tyler taking the time to sit down with me. And without further ado. So welcome to the Shaun Newman podcast. Today I'm joined by Tyler Busch, captain of the ASU hockey team here in Arizona, Phoenix. And first off, just thanks for sitting down with me. I know you're not in school right now, so you got a little bit of time, but still to take some time out of your busy schedule to sit down and have a little BS sesh with me is cool.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's good you could make it out here.
So the first question I have at the top of my head is, are you ever coming back north? Because we walk in here in flip-flops. This facility is gorgeous. I'm going I don't know if I want to leave.
Yeah, definitely a nice place to be to play hockey. I love going back to Lloyd and seeing friends and family, but I think when it's all said and done, my chances of staying here are probably a little bit higher. So, guys I've played with in the past and stuff have all kind of stuck around. So, great place to live, and I can kind of see myself being here the rest of my life for sure. It'd be easy.
Yeah, well, it's just a beautiful little spot.
Mm-hmm.
First time I've ever been to Phoenix before.
Oh, yeah?
I've never been here before. Now, this is year 4 for you?
Yeah, it's my 4th year, so I got a few more months here. I got 1 semester left. So.
Well, in 4 years, what do you suggest a guy sees if he's only here for 7 days?
Oh God, there's so much. It's nice being right outside the city, kind of. Obviously, when there's school, the campus area is always buzzing. There's a ton of people, and I think it's the biggest school in North America. There's 80,000 undergrad kids. So
I read 102,000 in your guys' program.
Yeah, it's growing every year. So it's there's people everywhere. There's always stuff to do around campus. But as soon as you go in Phoenix area, there's the basketball team, the Coyotes, the Diamondbacks during the year. It's kind of cool. You can, if you're a sports fan, there's definitely a lot to do in regards to that. And golfing is another thing that everyone does here. It's, especially in the summer, it's really cheap and easy to get out. So you could get away with golfing every day and playing a new track every day because there's so many courses around here. So I know on off days that's what our guys do quite a bit.
Next question I have to ask is, how is going on Spittin' Chicklets?
That was good, actually. It kind of came out of nowhere. Just a little background on that is Bisonet was at one of our games. He comes more often now, but he was at one of our games and he was kind of poking fun at one of our players after. This Johnny Walker kid, he was poking fun at his skating or something like that, and the boys kind of got a hold of that and were listening to it. So Johnny tweeted at him and kind of called him out for it, and then they started talking back and forth, and he said, why don't we get a couple of guys on the podcast? So he asked me. I was just kind of a background guy, but it was cool to go on and talk with those guys and bullshit for a bit. It was awesome.
That's I was explaining this. So I go to your guys' game on Sunday,
mm-hmm.
and I've been to a couple Division I hockey games before, and truthfully, there's probably been known people in the building who played very good hockey, whatever.
Right.
And Paul, Mr. Biznasty, whatever he goes by, comes and sits right in front of me. I'm like, what is going on here? This is, I don't know, huge deal in my world, podcasting world. In hockey world, Spittin' Chicklets is right up there with coach's corner now, pretty much, right? Like
Yeah.
for the younger generation, it's huge.
Mm-hmm.
How is it playing in a game having that guy around the building?
Yeah, it's cool. I remember the first time he came, like it was in between periods, and he was like in our bathroom taking a leak, and like guys are walking in and out of the bathroom being like, "Oh shit, like this is here," kind of thing. So, no, he's a nice guy, and like he'll pop in every once in a while if he's at a game and say hi after the game and stuff, and he gets pretty into it too. We saw him along the glass, like banging the glass after a goal or stuff like that. So, no, it's cool to have a face like that at your games for sure.
The Oceanside is an interesting place for a school of 100,000 with a Division I hockey program. It's got a lot of character.
Yeah, I will say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about the roof. How hard is it to adjust to a roof that low?
Yeah, I mean, a lot more whistles during a game. Like, you kind of don't have an option of the high flip out of the zone, but I don't know. I was saying when I first got here, it was a bit of an adjustment, and you go on the road and play in front of like 10,000 seats, and then you come here and it's like 1,000 max. So
let's talk about going on the road for a sec. Where do you get? Because you guys aren't in a conference, right?
No, we're independent, but we play all Division I games, so we play basically anyone. So all of our games are out of conference technically.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
So always on a plane, hopping on Phoenix and flying everywhere?
Yeah, we fly to every place. We've chartered a couple times, but mostly commercial flights. So
yeah, how's that? Bouncing everywhere?
It's okay. I mean, travel's long. Like, especially where we're at, we're kind of the only school that's out west. So we're traveling a lot to the East Coast, Boston, New York area a lot of the times. This year we went out to Alaska. So
up to yeah,
we played in Fairbanks, so we've kind of been all over the place, but you get used to it. I mean, we travel a couple days before we play. So.
What's worse, bus legs or plane legs?
Probably bus legs.
Think so?
I think so. I mean, we get a lot of time to adjust. Like, if we play on Friday, Saturday, we'll fly on a Wednesday and have a day of recovery there. So it's good. We get enough time to recover after a flight, and I'd rather fly a plane and get there as quick as I can than
that's true.
sit on the bus for hours. So
only thing about a plane is you don't really get to move around. At least we're on a bus.
Yeah.
It's your team, and you can kind of bounce around wherever you want.
Yeah. No, it takes some getting used to, I guess, but it's it's good. I think I've got used to it, and we have a pretty good schedule broken up where we don't go on the road every single weekend. So
where's been the best atmosphere, best barn that you went to so far since being down here?
There's been a lot. I mean, Penn State was really cool. They got a brand new rink. I think they built it 4 or 5 years ago, and they pack it, so it's a cool atmosphere there. Minnesota, playing against the Gophers, was pretty cool. I'm trying to think. Western Michigan, actually, underrated barn. They got a ton of fans, like a ton of students, and they're just rowdy. Like, it was a sick atmosphere when we went there, and you wouldn't even think it. Like, they got an older barn, but like the whole across from the bench, the whole the far side of the ice is all students, and they're all standing the whole game chanting, stuff like that. So
that should be the best thing about college hockey in the States is usually the student section is the best section to be watching all game long, or really when the bands come out and play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool.
Do you guys ever get anything crazy like that, and it being such a small rink?
We don't get the bands, but like we have that tiny little student section. But honestly, like a lot of times we'll have a pretty, like, this weekend was as great because people are on break and home for Christmas. But usually we'll fill that thing, and it gets pretty loud in there. Like, the atmosphere is good just because it's so small, and they kind of jam it packed. So. But I mean, it's completely different going on the road with the big student sections and stuff. You're almost nervous to take a penalty because you're hearing it. Like, as soon as you sit down in the box, you're hearing it from the students. So
what fun atmospheres to go around, atmospheres and like play in front of that many people, and like just like the school atmosphere of having everybody rah all decked out in colors, and the band. While the student sections, they just get rowdy.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really miss going to schools like that just prep for you and they're tailgating. Do they tailgate here? I mean, not that you'd know.
For football games, we do, yeah.
Yeah?
For football games, yeah.
Did you get out to a couple football games this year?
Yeah. Well, our school's football team, we've probably gone, I think I saw 2 or 3 games this year, but when they play at the start of the year, it's so hot, we'll usually go for the first quarter, first half, and then go watch the rest somewhere else. But
because it's too hot.
Yeah, it's like, and the student section is packed too, and everyone stands for the game, so like you're just leaking sweat by the end of it. So
you're a polar bear from Canada. You can't handle the heat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. It gets pretty hot in the summers, but good trade off, I guess.
So are you outside right now? Is it cool for you? Are you a
Yeah.
little bit chilly? You've accustomed yourself to. Now you're cold outside?
Yeah, I think this is the perfect time of year. Like, the weather's great. It's perfect for golfing and stuff like that. But sometimes in the summer you walk outside and the heat hits you and it's like, ooh. But no, it's great. I mean, we get pretty much our whole year round is good weather. So,
do you get a ton of people come visit you now that you're in Phoenix?
Yeah, I've had a handful. Yeah, a lot of people come vacation here and stuff. So. I've seen some old buddies and stuff that'll come down and let me know when they're in town, and I'll kind of show them around and hang out for a bit. But it's good that this is a place where a lot of people want to come visit, so
cool.
It's easy.
Let's go back to when your younger years, when you're growing up in Lloyd. Did you always grow up just playing hockey, or were you multi-sport kind of thing?
Yeah, I played baseball mostly growing up in the summers. Up until I would say 14, I played baseball mostly every summer. A couple times I played lacrosse, but I loved baseball. I thought it was great sport, and I thought it was nice to get away from hockey too and spend the summers doing something else. Hockey can.
So if you could go back and hockey wasn't an option, you would have been a baseball player then?
I think so. Yeah. I think that was probably the most enjoyable sport I played, and I loved every aspect of it. I actually played catcher in Lloyd for a few years, and I just loved being behind the plate and being able to call games and take pitches and stuff like that. And I think it's a great sport. I know I'm pretty good buddies with a couple baseball players here that play at ASU, so I think it's a great sport.
Do you ever get out and take a little BP?
No, I haven't. I know a few guys that have actually went with a couple of the baseball guys and went and hit some balls, but I might have to here over this next semester.
Well, you know what? You're running out of time now.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you settle in and for the long haul and don't leave here, you got plenty of time. But
Yeah. Well, they got a great baseball program here too. Like, I mean, their alumni is off the charts. Like, they got Barry Bonds and
Bonds went here.
Barry Bonds went here. Yeah. I'm trying to think who else. Chase Utley is a great had a really good career. I think he just retired. Andre Ethier went here. Some names like that. So
that's pretty cool.
Pretty good.
How about the hockey program? I mean, it's pretty young. Is there any big names that have come out of here?
Well, this is our fourth
year,
full year of Division I. But our goalie last year, Joey Decord, he was drafted by Ottawa, and at the end of last year, he signed with them, and he played one game with the Senators at the end of the year. But he's in the minors now, but he's the one name that's kind of gone on and played pro.
And with ASU, you guys are, what did I read? And the guy in the stands was telling me it too, the fastest Division I team to make the tournament? Is that correct?
I think that's probably right, yeah. It took us
3 years.
Yeah. And I think it's been a while since an independent team has made the tournament too. I think we were the first in 20 years or something like that.
Who did you play in the first? Quinnipiac?
Quinnipiac, yeah.
Quinnipiac?
Yeah, we lost by a goal.
Was that in their rink?
2. No, it's a neutral site.
Neutral sites. Where'd you guys play that game?
It was in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's where the Flyer. I think it's the Flyers minor league team plays. Their AJHL team play.
Yeah.
It was at their rink. So there's 4 teams there.
Phantoms?
Yeah. There's 4 teams. There was us and Quinnipiac, and then Duluth and Bowling Green were there, and then Duluth and.
What was that like?
It was good.
I mean, one game winner take all. Right?
Yeah. It was tough for us because we don't have a playoffs. Like, we don't have conference playoffs. So after our season ended, we like knew we were going to make the tournament because we were ranked high enough. And so other teams go on the next 2 weeks, play in their playoffs. So we kind of sat around and just practiced for almost 3 or 4 weeks before we played that game.
Ouch.
So, I mean, we started slow and gave up a few, and then I think it was 2-0 going into the third. We scored one early in the third and then made a push, but we lost by, I think we might have lost with an empty netter. I think we lost by 2, but yeah, I mean, it was tough to adjust at the start almost, but I mean, let's hopefully this year, if we get in, then we can learn from that and just be a little more ready.
I assume that your program's trying to get in a conference?
Yeah, I think so. I think the biggest issue is getting a rink first. I think that's what a lot of the conferences want, is for us to get a rink before we join anywhere. So, I mean, hopefully sooner than later we can get one built, but I think once our team gets a rink built on campus, like, it's just going to skyrocket because kids want to come here as it is, and that's basically the only thing missing.
It is the only thing missing.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is, as a hockey guy, if you're anywhere from up north, you come down here and you're like, yeah, I could probably do this.
Yeah,
I can handle this.
Yeah, that's all. When I took my visit here, I was a little skeptical because they were just brand new and you know, they were struggling and didn't have a great roster. But as soon as I stepped on campus, I was like, I gotta go here. So. Did
you, when you came here, did you go to other campuses at all?
Originally I was committed to Ohio State.
Okay.
Yeah, I toured there. I went to Penn State as well on a visit, and then I was with Ohio State for 2 years, I think, and then decided to go a different way because I had some buddies that went there and didn't work out for them and stuff like that, and they had some different recruiting guys. Like, they had some guys brought in. Their recruiting changed a little bit and stuff like that, so I decided to go a different way, and I came down here on a visit, and I was like, no brainer. Yeah. Yeah, but my first 2 years here we struggled a bit. Like, it was tough. We didn't have the very good record, and there was a couple long years, but I think this last year and then this year so far has been great, and it's been nice to see the program kind of turn around and kind of take off, so it's been cool.
Well, and you get to be a big part of that, right? I mean...
Yeah. I mean, that was a big reason why I came here in the first place, is tons of opportunity right off the bat. Like, as a freshman, I was playing a ton of minutes, and I think it was good for my development, for sure.
Yeah, well, and playing tons of minutes and playing like good hockey teams. We were talking about Michigan Tech over the weekend, right? Like, that's a good hockey team. That was good hockey on the weekend.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And when you're in a small barn like that, you get a real feel. Well, and you guys have to walk. Mm-hmm. Both teams have to walk in front of the stands to go back to their respective dressing rooms, which is, I don't think I've ever seen that before. But it gave me a new respect for how big everybody is. Frig me. Mm-hmm. That Lemieux on your guys' team is giant, which, I mean, I guess gets that from Mario.
Yeah.
I suppose Mario comes around the room every once in a while.
Yeah, he comes to quite a few games. He's never really came in the room and talked to us, but I think Austin would rather him just kind of stay on the outside.
It's probably tough for...
Yeah.
He's trying to make a name for himself.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he's heard it all growing up, too, and stuff. He's kind of been Mario's kid his whole life rather than just Austin, so...
He's a big boy.
Yeah, he is. He's tall. He's not very thick, but...
He was fun to watch. Honestly, the entire game was fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he's a good player. Like, you can definitely see his talent level. Like, he
How
can
old
see
would he
the
be?
ice. And, he's a 96 too, I think. But
96,
he redshirted
okay.
his first year he got here.
Okay.
So he just practiced, he didn't play, and then last year was his full year. So this year he's kind of took off and took a big step. I think it's tough for guys sitting out a full year and then getting back into it.
And then trying to get back into it, absolutely.
Yeah, but this year he's been playing well.
And then you get a couple of boys from Bonnyville too, the Pashnik brothers.
They have the Bash brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they...
Did you guys played together before, midget or something? Band?
I played midget with Steen when he came to Lloyd. My second year midget we played in Lloyd together for the midget AAA team, and Brinson was playing U16 at the time too in Lloyd. So I knew them. Like I grew up playing against them, and then they played in Bonnyville when I was in Spruce. So
were they committed before you committed?
After
Brinson
he was committed to Vermont originally too, and then he decommitted, and then it was right around the same time as like when I committed here. So our coaches got on the phone with him right away, and I think he wanted to go somewhere with his brother too, and so I was talking with them on the phone and trying to get them to come too. So it's good, it all worked out.
Yeah, well, I was saying to my brother-in-law who came with me to the game, we're looking at like the rosters of both teams and how many Alberta kids and not even Alberta, like Lloyd, Bonnyville, Irma, Wainwright.
Right.
Between the two teams, there's quite a few guys that are from the little area called home for a lot of us.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's been awesome to see it kind of develop, and the talent out of Lloydminster is kind of off the charts right now. So it's good that guys are going the college path too. I think growing up, we weren't exposed to that a whole lot. Like basically everyone just thought of the Western League and knew about that, and me included. I always thought the Western League would be the path, but then after going junior A, I figured that college would probably be better for me in my development.
Were you taken in the Bantam draft at all?
I was a late pick.
By who took you?
Prince George.
Did you go out to Prince George?
I did, yeah. I went the year I got drafted when I was 15. I went to their camp, and then my 16-year-old year I went to, and I got cut before exhibition, so I came back and played a year midget, and then decided to go to Spruce, and then thought probably college would be a better idea at that point.
So the initial plan had been to play dub, though. I mean,
yeah, growing up that's what I wanted to do. Yeah, but
this is a pretty cool route that is becoming more prevalent. Like more kids are sticking in junior A so they can essentially go this route.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're a late bloomer or late developer, I mean, it gives you a couple more years at least before you either go pro or you're done. So it's nice to go to a place and kind of prolong your career a couple more years at least.
What was it about Spruce?
Well, I knew there was a handful of kids out of the Lloyd area there already. Parker Mackay played there. I played midget with him. Him and Carson Soufsey went to Spruce, and they were there that year. So I went to their spring camp, I believe, and signed with them. I think it was a white card or whatever they called it. I signed with them after a spring camp, and then affiliated my 15 or 16-year-old year and played like 8 or 9 games with them. And then the next year I started as a 17-year-old.
So they sought you out essentially.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. I mean, I knew guys there. Like after my spring camp, I talked with McKee and stuff like that, and he got me signed right away. So there was also 3 or 4 guys on my midget team that were affiliated with them too. So and then we all ended up going to Spruce the next year.
Affiliated at Lloyd.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't realize. So you probably know the answer to this, I guess. In junior A, can you affiliate kids from any midget AAA team then?
Yeah, you could back then. I don't know if you still can.
No, you probably can.
I'm sure you can. Yeah, I don't know how exactly it works, but they must have a card or something where you gotta assign that kid to an affiliate card, and then your rights are kind of with that team for that year. I think so.
Let's talk about Spruce, because I mean, I was doing the numbers. In the last decade, so since 2010, I guess including 2010, Spruce and Brooks have both won 5 championships. So the last 10 championships have gone to either Spruce or Brooks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a huge chunk of that was under Jason McKee in Spruce, who would have coached you. And then obviously Ryan Papuano has been there since, 2008 to current.
Yeah.
So those 2 guys were, the building blocks might have been in place for Jason, because I think he got there, he assistant coached right at the beginning.
He did, yeah.
But I mean, what is it about those 2 places that are just so dominant?
I know in Spruce it was probably a culture thing. I think, coming from midgets, it was like a big jump getting there, but you kind of realized right away that the team was all about winning, and their culture was so good there that you kind of stepped in, and all you had to do was follow the lead of the older guys. And I remember when I first got there, just looking up to the 19, 20-year-old guys and kind of sitting back and being like, holy shit, like this is a big jump, and you got to make some adjustments to kind of model your game after those guys, and just buy into like a winning culture. And I think that's what Jason did so well, is he got guys to buy in from day one, and he did a great job recruiting guys that he knew would come in and buy into the culture. So we had a ton of skill on our teams, but we also like played really hard and played a good system. So it was fun being there. I enjoyed my time there.
You mentioned Jason was one of your favorite coaches.
Mm-hmm.
What was it specifically about his coaching style then? Was it the culture piece then that makes him stick out, or was there other things?
He was really detailed with his game planning. Like he put in a ton of work.
How so?
Well, our structure as a team, our systems and stuff like that would change every game depending on who we were playing and stuff like that. And I learned a ton from him, just as far as X's and O's. Like he made sure guys were prepared every night, and if you weren't thinking and you weren't prepared for a game, then you would probably stand out. So he was great at getting guys to buy into his systems, and I think he outcoached a lot of teams for sure.
Yeah, good coaching when they can disassemble the other team,
Mm-hmm.
can really give you a leg up or multiple legs up.
And I think that's why our rivalry with Brooks was so good. Like my second and third year, we played them in the final both years, and it was a really good coaching battle. Like every period, almost teams were making adjustments and switching on the fly and stuff like that. So it was fun to play in for sure.
What do you think about Brooks now? Like they just broke like the all-time wins record.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've just been winning. It's almost like a little bit unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy, and they get guys from all over the place too. I know, like in Spruce, I think every guy on our roster was Albertan. But I don't know, like Brooks back then, I know they brought in guys from out east and American kids, but he must do a great job of recruiting. He must spend a lot of hours going out and getting kids. But they sure do know how to win, that's for sure.
I can tell it's tough to talk about Brooks
It
for
is
you.
a little bit, yeah. Yeah, no, it was fun to play them always. Like they had a great barn, good crowd, and when we played them in the finals, it was always a war. So first year we played them in the finals, we won. The second year they got the better of us, so it was a good battle. Like they had some really good teams and really competitive. So
you guys won back to back, yeah?
Yeah. My first and second year we won.
What year was better for you, do you think?
They're both great, but different, really different. Like my first year, we played Sherwood Park in the first round, went to Game 7 and won Game 7. The second round we went to Game 7 with Fort Mac, won in overtime in Game 7, and then the third round, the finals, we swept Drumheller. Like it was weird how it was like so long the first two rounds and such a war, and then we kind of rolled through the finals. But that was my first kind of big win as a team, and like to win that league was pretty cool, and then to repeat the second year, that was great too. I think we came into camp right from day one, and that was our goal, is to repeat, and we knew it was going to be tough, but we had a really good team and played well down the stretch, and ended up beating Brooks in the final.
Usually like to let the boys give a shout out. I assume you had billets in Spruce?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you live with the same family the entire time, or did you?
After my first year, I changed billets, and I lived with a family, the second family, for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were really good. There was Mike and Angie Mitchell. Their son actually plays for Spruce Grove now.
Okay.
And he's a good player too. Cam Mitchell's his name. He just committed to Omaha, Nebraska. So
okay.
yeah, he's doing really well, and it was kind of cool living with them. He was a little younger, and I'd go to his games when he played Bantam, and now he's playing for Spruce, so it's pretty cool.
What rink did you like playing in the AJ? It's a little different. I always ask the Dub guys it because they go on such a variety tour, if you will, in the Dub.
Right.
The AJ, I mean, I guess I haven't played in all the rinks. Obviously you have, but what rink was your favorite? And you can't say Spruce.
Yeah, no. I loved coming to Lloyd, just playing in front of like friends and family.
And the old
cool.
Civic.
Yeah, I know. I always got up for those games just because your family was in the building and stuff like that. And I also like playing in Grand Prairie. That's a place that a little far out of the way, but I really like their rink, and they had a great barn, so it was fun to play there always.
What rink had the nastiest fans?
Probably White Court.
White Court?
Yeah, they were like, well, it was just such an old barn, and they have the seating on the one side, so, and they're kind of right on top of you, so we played them in playoffs a couple of years too, and they'd get pretty rowdy. So
now, both years you guys won, that was in the stretch where they didn't do the Doyle Cup, right?
Right, yeah.
So you played in the Western Canada Cup?
Yeah.
And didn't fare so well there?
No, the first year, well, it was tough. Like, it was, you come off the high of winning a like 7-game series, and like in front of big crowds, and the atmosphere is so big, and then you go to the Western Canada Cup, and it's a tournament format in like a host team location, so the crowds weren't great compared to what they were in playoffs, and I don't know, it was just tough. And my first year, we were in Manitoba, and we lost the like final playing game. We had to win. We lost the host team, so that was tough. Our goalie got hurt. We had our backup come in cold, and we kind of blew the lead in the third period, so that one stung big time. The second year was up in Fort Mac, and yeah, I mean, it was just a different atmosphere going from like a 7-game series to all of a sudden playing.
It's too bad you guys hadn't have been, because now they got the Doyle Cup back in, right?
Yeah.
There was only like a span of like 4 years where they had that Western Canada Cup, and then it essentially fizzled out because teams were losing money, I believe, off of hosting it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well,
like a best of 7 might have done you guys good. It would have put tons of fans in your home barn, right?
Yeah, I know. I wish that's the way it would have went, but I mean, what can you do? I mean, it's tough looking back and being like we were so close, but yeah, I don't know. I think the league championships were great to be a part of, and like I said, it's tough going from a rivalry, a 7-game series, to all of a sudden playing against a bunch of teams you've never seen before. So,
did you guys win on home ice, or were you away?
We were away both years.
Both years?
Yeah.
How was the bus ride back?
It was good, yeah. The first year we drove back right away. The second year we stayed a night in Brooks, celebrated a bit, and then drove back the next day. But actually, both years were in overtime too. It was overtime goals.
Really?
Both years, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, just to add a little cherry on top.
Yeah, I know. It was cool, yeah. But
how about you played in the World Junior A Challenge? That was in Ontario, wasn't it?
Yeah, I played 2 years. My first year I played, it was in Kindersley. And then,
okay.
Yeah. And
Kindersley's got a nice barn.
Yeah, it was good actually, yeah. Our team didn't do too well there. My first year, I think we came in last place.
So in the World Junior A Challenge, they break you up into how many teams for Canada?
There's 2 teams. There's a Western Canada team and then Eastern. So
okay.
Yeah.
And is there a specific how many guys they can take from, like, say, the AJ, the MJ, SJ, etc., or is it just?
No, it was just anyone. They had a camp. My first year was in Calgary, and then second year they did it in Leduc. But they take kids from the BC, the AJ, the SJ,
and the MJ.
Yeah. And I can't remember how many kids they had at camp. Maybe 60, and then it's a weekend camp kind of thing, and then they take the team right from there to the tournament. So first year was tough. We didn't do too well, and then my second year, we went out to Ontario, and it was pretty good.
What was the town in Ontario you guys played?
Oakville.
Oakville, yeah. Isn't that right on Lake Ontario?
I think, yeah, it is, yeah.
Was it a nice spot or
Sorry, no, it wasn't Oakville. It was Cobourg. We played in Cobourg, Ontario.
Cobourg? But that's
Yeah.
right on Lake Ontario, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I think it is, yeah. Yeah, we played, I think it was in Oakville and Cobourg. Like, we played all our games in Cobourg.
Okay.
And they hosted the RBC a couple years later. They have a really nice rink. And it was packed, like there was tons of fans and stuff, so it's cool.
What was it like putting on the... I'm assuming, I believe that's the first time you guys ever put Canada jersey on?
Yeah, that was the only time I ever got the chance to do those 2
Is,
years.
is that like unreal?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was like, first time you do it is kind of a, like, holy, like, this is sick. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun to represent your country like that. And I know a lot of guys don't get an opportunity to do that, so it was good.
Who would have been playing in a tournament like that guys listening would know?
Well, our team was stacked. Our second year, we had a really good team. We had, like, Cale McCarr was on our team.
Oh yeah.
Tyson Joe.
He isn't that good.
No. Yeah, he's struggling. Yeah, no, he's pretty unreal. There's well, actually, our team had 4 first rounders. There was him, Tyson Jost, Dante Fabro, and Dennis Chalowski, who's with Detroit now too. So, and then guys like Brinson, Pashnuk, like Bobby McMahon from Wainwright, he's my cousin. He played on the team too. But yeah, it's been cool to kind of stay in touch with those guys and see their careers unfold and kind of take off.
It's one of the questions I had written down, actually. How cool is it right now to be sitting in Arizona and then watch your buddies play, like, all over?
Yeah, it's...
Because, I mean, I briefly texted Carson, who's playing in Minnesota right now. And, like, he's tearing it up is the way I look at it, right? Like, for a guy to walk in and start playing that many minutes, putting some points up, like, it's pretty freaking cool.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, you must have a list of, like, 20 guys or more that are just playing everywhere. Like, you played with Clegg back in the day. Now he's strapped it on for LA. Like, how cool is that? Like, when you flick on the TV and there's just, like, a new guy, it seems like every week stepping into the NHL.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's cool to see it all unfold for guys, and you know, just getting a chance to play with them and then seeing them kind of take off is awesome. And like you said, Clagger the other day made his debut. Got to watch him, and then Seuss is obviously doing well with Minnesota. So, but yeah, there's a list of guys that I keep in touch with that are doing really well. So, yeah, hopefully I can kind of compete with those guys someday, but we'll see.
Well, I think you're doing pretty well for yourself, right? I mean, like, Div 1 is no slouch. You guys got a good team. What is your record right now?
I think we're like, let me check. I don't want to lie to you. I'll pull it up here quick. Hold on.
You're supposed to know this
I
offhand.
know. We're 11-8-3.
11-8-3.
So
how many games you got left then?
we got 7 weeks left, so 14 games.
14 games.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's not a bad, decent length. Like, that's actually, I think back in when I was playing, I think we only played 25, maybe a couple out of conference games. Like, I think we played just shy of 30.
Yeah. Well, it's nice too how it breaks up in, like, you practice all week and get your schoolwork done and stuff, and then you just play on the weekends, and it's kind of cool. You get into a good rhythm. And
what's your schedule look like? What time you guys in the gym? What time you guys skating?
Yeah, we work out from 8 to 9, and then
every morning.
Pretty much, yeah.
8 to 9 every morning. Okay.
Every morning. So if we play Friday, we won't work out Thursday. We'll go in and do like a mobility or stretch or something like that. But and then we practice from 10 to 11 or 10 to 12. We have the ice 10 to 12. So
every day
we practice usually 10 to 11, and then the ice is open for guys to do whatever, and then the rest of your day is basically all school. So
how many classes you got in a day?
I got 3 in-person classes a day, like throughout the schedule. So
you say in-person because you have a couple classes where all you have to do is log on?
Online, yeah. And
really?
a lot of guys take majority of their classes online. But there's a rule with the international students that you have to at least be in 3 in person. So I got class pretty much every day, but a lot of guys just do their schoolwork.
Would you rather be just watching online?
Depends what class it is, I guess. But I've liked taking online classes probably a little bit more.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm starting to get old, I guess, because that's the first.
Mm-hmm.
In my time, we always had to be in class.
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't even an option.
Right.
Just sit in your house and take 5 classes a day or whatever it is, and never leave the front door.
And it's kind of like a lot of them are like work at your own pace too, so you don't really have a schedule. You can kind of just do it whenever you have free time. So guys have pretty open schedules when they do online classes.
You got a tough life.
I know, right?
Man, I love college. I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm sitting here thinking about you sitting in a house, not leaving there. That blows my mind.
I'm always in class though. It's those American kids that are too lazy to get off the couch. You know.
You hear that, boys? I was watching the World Juniors the other day. I assume you guys are like the rest of us. When the World Juniors come on, the Americans and the Canadians like to have a little wager, maybe a little bit of a...
Yeah, it's pretty competitive in the room. Well, we played in the afternoon, so we watched the first little bit of the game, and then we couldn't watch the end. I missed the third period because we had to get ready for a game.
Yeah, no, and we missed all the fun part.
Yeah, exactly. But one of our assistant coaches is Canadian, and he kept running in with updates whenever they scored. So, it was actually pretty nice to see the American kids after they lost to Finland there. You can bug them a little bit. They don't take that too well.
It's kind of nice that it's the Americans, right? Like, just like to poke them a little bit.
It is, yeah. It's nice, and I live with an American kid too. And
see, when I was in school, I got the stretch of where we won. I think towards the end, maybe we lost, but we had a stretch there where we won how many in a row? Like 8 or whatever it was.
It's just
like,
free ammo for you, huh?
Oh, and then even in junior out in Ontario, we had a couple of Americans that loved. One of my best friends was from Connecticut, and that's when they ran into the Crosby superstar team.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it was like
it's too
easy pickings, right?
Yeah,
like at least now it's Canada's right there every year, but the other teams, other teams are a little more competitive.
Yeah.
What was playing the Russians like? Because that's what you guys won the World Junior AJHL. Like, what was playing different countries like?
Yeah, it was cool. That was my first kind of crack at it, but obviously the Americans, we played them, and that was a huge rivalry. That was like, you didn't know any kids on the team, but you still got up for a game because it was Canada versus US.
US, yeah. Was it packed for that?
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, all of our games really were sellouts there. So I think they sat like 5,000 or 6,000 maybe, but
that's still a decent turnout.
Yeah, it was
right?
great atmospheres. Yeah, it was awesome, and playing the Russians in the final was cool too. Obviously, there's a lot of history there between those two countries, and it was nice to beat them.
Did they have different styles? Did you notice? Like playing the Russians, playing US, like did they have different, anything that sticks out?
Yeah, I think so. I think the Americans is a little more like north-south and play hard, a little more dump and chase probably, and the Russians are a little more lean towards like possessing the puck and keeping the puck and trying to overskill teams. But I mean, it was cool to play different styles of hockey like that. I've noticed that, even watching World Junior stuff like that, every country kind of plays a little bit of a different style. But
well, what are you gonna? Before we get into our final 5, I was curious what do you think is up next for you? Where you got a few more months of college left. Enjoy that.
Thanks.
You get another chance, of possibly getting, if you guys play well in your last 14 games, there's a possibility of being ranked again, I assume, right? Mm-hmm. After this season, where are you wanting to go? I mean, I assume the NHL, but I mean, what have your options been like?
I mean, it's tough to say at this point. I think obviously the goal of mine is still to play in the NHL. That's been a dream of mine since I was a little kid. So I want to keep playing wherever it takes me, whatever kind of options I have. Whether it's the minor leagues or over in Europe somewhere, hopefully I get something and just try to keep playing as long as I can and kind of see how it unfolds.
If you get a chance to go over to Europe, Europe's a lot of fun. You want to see some crazy fans, Europe has them.
Yeah, there's a few guys that I've played with here that have gone over, and a couple of guys playing that England league.
Yeah.
There's a kid in Norway right now, kid in Italy, so, and they all love it over there. They said it's great, like you said, sick fans. And
well, I mean, it's as a free agent, you go play one season, and as a free agent, instead of, I don't know, going from whatever town in the States, Canada, you can go to France or England or Sweden or Finland or Italy.
Yeah.
It's just everything's so close over there, and there's it's surprisingly good hockey. And I would also say to anyone out there who says that they don't hit, the hardest I've ever been hit, ever, not even a question, came in a game in Finland.
Really?
I got pretzeled. Like, I don't know how I didn't break something. I didn't realize my body could contort that way. And the fans were unbelievable, and I got screamed at in Finnish. I have no idea what people were saying to me, but I assume they were mad or happy or both. And
a lot of fighting in that league, or?
No. To be honest, they're big rinks. They're big rinks. Lots of skating. More hitting than I would have thought, but very little fighting. Doesn't mean it isn't rough. It just wasn't. But I mean, look at hockey these days. Like, when was the last time you guys had a game there was a fight?
Yeah, it's changed a lot.
In your time at ASU, has there been fights?
Not really, no.
Right?
Well, if you do, it's just a scrum because everyone wears cages, so there's not a whole lot you can do. But
even go to a junior A game. I mean, it still happens, right? Fighting still happens. But I mean, when I was in high school, so we're talking early 2000s, we'd go to the Junior B Bandits in Lloyd, or even the Blazers,
right,
and go to watch the fights. Because there was the Junior B team, there was probably 5 to 8 good scraps in a night. And the Junior A's, they had forget what the guy was. He was an absolute behemoth. And he was from out east. He was like Newfoundland or something. And he was a giant of a man who would take, these dips out of a tin of can, where he'd take like half a tin of can and put it in. I remember sitting beside him in tryouts and being like, I'm going up against this guy? Like, holy crap. And I saw him rip visors off guys and then just pummel them. Yeah. That's what you used to go and watch. And now, you go to a hockey game, you go to an NHL game. How many fights really is there?
I know. I haven't seen one live in years. Whenever I go to an NHL game, there's there's still hitting and guys are physical, but especially during the regular season, you can tell that guys let up a little bit.
Yeah. What's the Arizona Coyotes rink like?
It's nice. It's out in Glendale, so it's a bit of a weird area. It's hard to get to almost, especially during the week. Traffic is crazy to get out there, but I like it. We've played there a handful of times too, and it's nice to.
You guys get to play in Glendale?
Yeah, my first year we played there. Almost half of our home games were out there.
Really? You get decent fans for that, or is it pretty?
See, that's the thing.
Because now it's a drive.
Yeah, and there will be 4,000 or 5,000, but it feels like no one because you're in a huge rink. But we've been out there once this year, but the plan originally was to play out there as much as we can, but now it's we'd rather play.
Yeah, on your little. The ocean side isn't bad.
No,
I think honestly, it has its characteristics you'd change, but I'd rather a small barn and 1,000 fans in there than a barn that can hold, I don't know what the Coyotes can hold, 17,000 and have 800 or whatever, right? That's no fun.
And we play well there too. We're a big, strong team and play physical, so we can kind of run teams out of our rink that come in and feel uncomfortable right away. So.
Yeah, well, I could see that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll get to the final 5. Brought to us by Crude Master. Shout out to Heath and Tracy McDonald. Huge supporters of the podcast. They sponsor this little segment here where I give you 5 questions. We try and keep it nice and light, or we can go down rabbit holes if you like.
Sounds good.
All right. If you could pick your wingers, anyone, to play on your line, who would you want?
NHL players, you talking?
I'm talking anyone, man.
Oh God. I'd definitely be taking Nathan McKinnon.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
He'd probably be tough to play with. Crosby. I love Crosby. I mean, they're both centermen, but I'd put him on a wing, you know? And growing up, I was a huge Crosby fan.
You know what? That'd be a sick line. I mean, like, yeah. McKinnon might be, like, you're an Oilers fan. I'm an Oilers fan. We got McDavid. He is by far the most skilled player in the NHL. There's no doubt in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But McKinnon last year in the playoffs was on an entirely different level. Like, it was...
Yeah. He can dominate. Like, whenever he has the puck on his stick, he's like, he can speed the game up or slow it down, or like he can play anything. So
how much did it suck that the Olympics didn't have the pros go over play?
It's terrible.
Because every time that happens, you miss an opportunity where, I'm not saying McKinnon and Crosby would have played on the line, but maybe, I don't know, who knows. But McKinnon, Crosby, McDavid, right off the hop, those 3 could be your 3 centers. Like, and now maybe you've missed that window. I don't know. They probably still have McDavid and McKinnon, but, you know, Crosby's getting older. Still should be around by that time, but...
It's sad to think about because, I mean, growing up, it was like the Olympics were the biggest hockey event ever. Everyone loved the Olympics.
Still love the Olympics.
Like, yeah, but, I mean, it's... Even the World Cup, when they did that a few years ago, like, it was unreal to watch those players play together and, like, actually compete rather than, like, an all-star game.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. Like, actually compete. And there's something to be said about them putting on the Canadian jersey, right?
Mm-hmm.
That draws the line real quick between you and your American friends.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Like, I wish they...
Hopefully in the future they get back to it, but...
Well, they're going to China for 2022?
Yeah.
Right? Because we won in 2010, 2014, we missed 2018. Yeah, 2022. I think they're in China.
Yeah.
That's too big of a market. The NHL players will be there.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
I'd put money on it.
Yeah.
It's as a fan of the game, it's like the one time you get to watch like the super team come together for all sides. I mean, it happens for all countries.
Mm-hmm. Canada will have a scary team that year.
Who will be their goalies in 2 years? 2020, 2 years. Who will be their goalies?
Price?
Think Price?
I think right now it'll probably be Price, but I don't know.
Right now, who do you got? Price, Holtby?
Yeah, Holtby. Like, you can pick it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any like young studs from Canada.
Gibson's an American, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They could probably play without a goalie and still win.
That's true. They're friggin' legit.
Yeah. They got a lot of options.
If you could have a drink with one person, anyone, who would it be?
I was talking about this the other day with someone on my team. I can't remember who we were saying. God. I'm a huge MMA fan.
Really?
Yeah, like UFC. I love UFC. I'd say McGregor would probably be up there.
He'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think he'd be up there.
Do you think it's all a show with him? Because I feel like the UFC lately, specifically him and who's the guy he lost to? Khabib.
Yeah.
I can't figure out if that's like wrestling tactics.
I think he knows what he's doing. I think McGregor is like his marketing side of everything. Like, I'm sure he's not like that in real life. Like in person, he's probably somewhat normal. I mean, he's probably got a few screws loose, but I think when it comes to promoting himself, and he's doing a pretty good job. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he gets a rise at everyone. Like his fan base is like kind of took off ever since he kind of came to the UFC. And you see other guys doing it too. Like other guys are trying to do the same thing as he done. Like as far as like calling out other guys and kind of being a loudmouth. I think a lot of people are attracted to that.
Well, we come from a sport where there's a reason why Biz Nasty is so popular, or why even Spittin' Chicklets is so popular.
Yeah.
Most hockey players don't say one thing behind the scenes, and then when they get a camera in front of them, are very white collared.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And
Yeah,
for somebody to come out and say it like that, that's Conor McGregor in a nutshell. He just, at all times, he's letting it fly.
Yeah.
Did you watch have you seen the PFL? PFL, Professional
I
Fighters
watched a
League?
bit of it the other night, yeah.
What did you think of that?
It was good. I mean, it was $1 million per belt or something like
Yeah,
that.
$1 million. Christmas Eve. No,
Yeah.
Christmas Eve. New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
$1 million for each winner.
Yeah, we were on the road when they did the qualifying for that over the weekend. So guys would fight, and if they won, it was like a bracket tournament, and if they won, they'd come back out like an hour later and fight again. And it was we're like, holy, like this.
So
is
this
nuts.
was the way of the old system of the UFC then.
Yeah, I guess so. Like it was just for the qualifying fights. It was like a 3-round like bracket tournaments kind of thing per weight class. So guys would fight. If they won, they'd go back, like backstage, get ready for the next fight right away. And then the finals was like 2 days later. It's like, it's got to be tough on the brain.
Tough on the body.
Yeah.
That might explain why the heavyweight was a bit of a snooze.
Yeah.
By the second round, they were both so gassed they pretty much laid on each
I
other.
know. Yeah, it was
But $1 million,
it's a lot of money.
it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
If you could party with one person.
I don't know. Next question.
What?
I don't know. You'd have to be smart about it. You don't want to get in trouble, Like, you don't want to go down the wrong path. I think there would be a lot of, like, professional athletes would be fun, like, especially older guys, like Gretzky, Lemieux, guys like that. They just sit down with them and hear their stories.
Just be a fly on the wall and just
Yeah.
listen to them.
Yeah. Well, I live with Riley Simpson. That's Craig's
son?
Yeah, and when Craig comes, like, we've been golfing with Craig and stuff like that, and to hear some of his stories is pretty cool. So I'm sure if you sat down with Gretzky or Messier, Lemieux, any of those guys, I'm sure you could bullshit for quite a while.
No kidding. If you could go to one organization, sports organization, does not have to be hockey, does not have to be pro, could be, well, you're probably not going to pick a different university, but you kind of get my drift. It could be football, basketball, hockey, baseball. If you could become part of one organization, what organization would you want to go to?
I don't know. That's a tough question too. I'd say, I'd have to stick with hockey. Any original 6 team would be sick. Like the Blackhawks, I think would be so cool. Chicago is like an unreal city. Great history, unreal fans, unreal rink. Like
The Madhouse?
Yeah, like I think being a part of that organization would probably be top notch. The Rangers, same thing at MSG. Like, I think any original 6 team. I think what's coolest about them is like they go on the road, and a lot of places they'll get more fans than the home team. Like especially in Arizona, like if the Hawks come, like majority of the crowd is red, which is sick. But
What's the best deal you've ever got on tickets to go to a Coyotes game?
Well, we know like a few, like some of the younger kids that play for the Coyotes that are our age. We know them, and like there's a couple guys on our team that played with a few guys before, so sometimes they'll get us tickets for free and leave us tickets at the door.
Yeah, that's a bad answer,
but it's not expensive to go to a game. Like you can get upper bowl tickets for
you come from
$30.
You come from the land of the Oilers, and the land of the Oilers, it's like $150 to sit in the nosebleeds.
I know.
And then you hear about down here, and it's $20 to get in the door, and you're like, sign me up.
Oh, I know usually the crowds aren't great. Every year I've been here, but now like they're having a really good year.
They're having a really good year.
Yeah, they're a good team, and they just got Hall too. I know everyone.
Have you been out to watch a game while Hall's been playing?
I did last week. I went to a game.
How'd he look?
He looked good. Yeah, their team is good. Like they got 3 solid lines that can score, and like they just play hard too. Like they work and they're fun to watch. Like they're a good team. I think if they make the playoffs, like they could go on a run. They got a good squad.
Who's in net for them right now?
Well, Darcy Kemper is their goalie. He's hurt right now.
But he's hurt.
Yeah, they have Antti Ranta as in net right now.
Oh, Ranta, that's
But
right.
Kemper's, he was having a really good year. I don't know how long he's out, but I think he made the All-Star game. Like, he's having a sick year. So.
Yoked.
I know.
I wish the Oilers could figure it out.
Yeah.
Do you ever stop in and watch the Oilers when they come to town?
Yeah, I do. I went last year. I also went this year too, so.
You gotta take a peek at McDavid and see how he's looking.
Well, I mean, watching.
Did you see his goal the other night?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, well, watching him like in person is completely different than on TV too. Like the way he is without the puck, even like he'll kind of just glide around and wait, and then as soon as he gets it, it's like bang, and he's gone.
Yeah, his speed is almost indescribable.
Yeah,
it's just unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of times he stick handles a puck though, almost hurts my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Just like it's like I can't even move my hands that fast.
I know. Yeah. Well, there's like, I think there's a handful of guys that when you see them live, it's like they're separated from the rest of them. Like, and it's easy to pick them out right away. Like Austin Matthews, he's from Scottsdale, and in the summers he'll skate with us.
Oh yeah.
So we're on the ice with Matthews in the summer a lot of times, and I remember the first time I stepped on the ice with him, I couldn't believe how big he was. Like, he's huge, and he can move, and like things he does with the puck, like just things I've never seen before. Like, he has the puck on a string, and like when he has it, he can do whatever he wants when he's playing shinny out at the rink. Like, but there's only a handful of guys out there that I think are at his level.
So off season training, you stay in Phoenix then?
This past summer I did, yeah. Our strength coach is really good too. Leanne Blinn is her name. She's like a professional weightlifter. Like, she has world records in lifting weights and like Olympic lifts. So
yeah,
she's got a really good background. She used to be the head strength coach for Boston College. So she's seen a lot of guys move on to the NHL and have good careers. And
so what was it like living here all summer and training here?
It's nice because I was with another kid on our team, Johnny Walker. He stayed here too. So we lived here together. And yeah, it was great. Every day we'd get up in the morning, go work out, and then sometimes we'd go skate. Sometimes we'd go play golf and kind of just take it easy, lay by the pool, hang out. It was a good summer.
You want to babysit some kids for a couple days, and maybe I'll go hit the golf course?
Yeah, no kidding.
I meant to ask, when you were back in Lloyd, what did you do in the off seasons? Did you work with Tapper and Cujo and all that?
Yeah, a couple of summers ago I trained with Curtis off ice, and then I would skate with Tap. I spent one summer in Wainwright training with Adam Huxley. But yeah, I've kind of been all over the place as far as summers go, but I think what they got going on in Lloyd is really good. Like, I think ever since that Cujo was put in place and Tap as well, like, you've seen kids' development kind of skyrocket, and now every year it seems like there's a new kid coming out of Lloyd and opening a lot of eyes. So I think Lloyd and the surrounding area has a ton of talent and some good people supporting it and pushing those kids to get to the next level. Yeah.
Now, what was one of the cool things that one of those guys taught you? Like, is there anything that sticks out? Like, when you're on ice working with all their different techniques, is there anything that sticks out that was like, never thought to do that, or it translated maybe to the game really well?
Right. Well, as far as off ice training, I think Cujo was great with. I mean, I've never lifted a weight until I went to Cujo. I learned basically all my weightlifting from him, and then when you get to the college level, like, weightlifting is a big part of it just because you don't play as often. So I learned all that from him. As far as on ice, I mean, Tapper, I've learned a ton from him. He's worked a lot with me as far as puck protection and kind of, I like how he personalizes guys too. Like, he'll take guys one-on-one and work on kind of their strengths and weaknesses, and We did a lot of puck protection stuff, just using my big body to the best of my advantage, and he was really good with that stuff. So,
how about nutrition? I assume they probably have you on a nutrition plan here, or maybe not.
Yeah. Well, we cook for ourselves and stuff like that, but yeah, our strength coach, same thing. She does a lot of nutrition stuff.
Is that hard to, or is that just an easy thing to kind of slide into your lifestyle?
It's easy for us because we get fed from the team quite a bit. Like every day after practice, we have like catered meals at the rink and stuff like that. So we get treated pretty well as far as eating. Yeah, whenever we need anything, like we're really close with people on our staff that'll help you with nutrition. Like Leanne will take time out of her day to help guys with whatever they need. So she's helped a lot of guys with their nutrition and kind of what they should be putting into their bodies and stuff like that. So she's great.
Yeah, cool. If you could choose Game 7 of, I assume you're not going to pick NBA, but hey, you never know. NBA, MLB, NHL, or the Super Bowl. Big four. Well, heck, we could toss tennis in there. If you really want, we could throw soccer in there. Which one would you take?
To watch?
Yeah.
Hockey all day.
Hockey all day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, seeing the Stanley Cup presented would be all right.
Yeah. I mean, I just love like how much they ramp it up for the playoffs. Like it's a completely different game. And it's cool to see like what those guys go through to get to Game 7 of a Stanley Cup, or like what it takes to win a Stanley Cup. Like hearing stories after they're done of all the injuries they have and like what their bodies have went through, it's incredible. So I mean, I'd watch playoff hockey every day if I could.
Yeah, well, the first round of playoff hockey, nothing in any sport beats it.
Yeah.
First round is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And the NHL is cool because the parity of the league is truly, if you make the playoffs, you have a shot at winning.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I mean, it's been proven time and time again.
Yeah.
Just because you're number one seed doesn't mean squat.
Mm-hmm.
And so to get in to the playoffs, that's all I need in the first round. It's just like hockey and meaningful hockey every night. It's like awesome.
Yeah. Well, look at St. Louis last year. Like
No, St. Louis is a perfect one.
Yeah. But.
All right, final question for you. Who is the best player you played with and against?
I played that in that tournament with Makar. He's probably doing the best that everyone right now.
Was he filthy? I assume he was filthy back in that tournament?
Yeah, and well, I played against him too when he was in Brooks. I remember my second year in Spruce when we played him in the final. He was an affiliate and he was 15 years old, I think, and he was like the best player on the ice. Like he was their
at
best,
15.
He was their best D-man as a call-up, and like that was the first time I seen him play or played against him, and like
think about that.
Yeah, he kind of knew right away as soon as he had the puck on the stick, like that kid's a player. But
what was so at 15 while he's playing? Was it his skating ability, or was it his puck handling, or was it just everything?
Yeah, he's so good on his edges. Like I remember just like trying to defend against him. Like when he has the puck at the point, like he'll fake a shot and make you sell out for like trying to block a shot, and he'll step around you, like make you look stupid whenever he wants, kind of thing. But he can get up and down the ice like no one I've seen. Like, and he's not overly like quick or powerful, but he's just so good on his edges. Like he's really tough to defend and great with the puck, obviously. So he'd probably be one of the best players I've been on the ice with. Playing against my freshman year, we played against Denver. And that was the year they won the national championship. They had Will Butcher.
Oh, yeah.
He's a defenseman.
And Will Butcher for New Jersey.
He's in New Jersey now.
Yeah.
And he dominated when we played against him when he was in Denver. He won the Hobie Baker that year. But he was a D-man that, like, he stood out. Like, he dominated like no one I've seen. So. And
how did he do it? Was it speed?
He wasn't overly fast either, I didn't think. He just, like, every time he had the puck, he made the right play. Like he never made mistakes, it seemed like, and like their team was stacked. Like they had that Troy Terry kid.
Yeah, Troy Terry in Anaheim.
Yeah, that Henrik Borgstrom. He's a Finnish kid. He's in Florida now.
He's in Florida, yeah.
Like that. Like those guys just kind of dominated, and you'll see it every year. There's a few guys in college that can put up crazy stats and kind of score every night. So, but I thought Butcher was maybe the best college player I've played against.
Man, no kidding. He is good.
Mm-hmm.
And he did well when he stepped in the NHL too.
Yeah, and he's just like, he's not a guy that'll wow you right away, but the more you watch him, like, he's so smooth and like makes the right play, it seems like, every time. So.
Yeah, cool. Well, I appreciate you letting me pin you down here for an hour and a little bit. I've enjoyed meeting you. I've enjoyed sitting on your campus. I don't know if I'm going to drive back to my place or fly home anytime soon. I might just hang out here. But thanks for hopping on with me. I've really enjoyed this.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. I'm glad you could stop by.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Just a reminder once again, the Hockey Day in Saskatchewan is going on this week. All money raised is going to get new arena boards for the Hillmont rink. Currently, the boards are in pretty rough repair. They're from the original rink. They're from the original rink, and they're over 40 years old, and they're in, to the point now that they're becoming a serious issue. So, if you can get out and support this great event, please do so. Once again, that Wade and Friends game, $10 to get into, 12 and under free. Saturday, 12 and under free once again, $25 to get into the entire day. And then Sunday is minor hockey all day long. Banquet, obviously, Friday night with tons of silent auction items on. If you go to 32auctions.com, or you can look it up on Facebook on the Hillmont Arena or Hillmont Hitman pages, and find the links there to go bid on some items. That ends Saturday night. Anyways, thanks for stopping in and listening. A ton of fun. I got some really cool guests coming up here in 2020. I think you guys are going to be really excited for. So until next week.